Hey guys, so today I want to do a quick little comparison here between the Galaxy S4, which is having Android 4.3 installed on my device, and it is the Google Edition firmware that you can install on the GTI 9505. And then here on the other side, I do have my Galaxy Mega 6.3, which of course have Samsung's own TouchWiz UI installed. Where you can see here at the top where I have a ton of different quick toggles, which is one of the very powerful thing here with TouchWiz, and that you have that brightness slider over there, like cool things like Smart Stay, Air View. Of course, when you install this Google Edition firmware on the S4, you won't get these cool things like Smart Pause, Smart Stay, Smart Scroll, and all of those features. You only get a few of these toggles, as you can see when we go down like this. So you can see I have Wi-Fi, airplane mode, you can see battery, and then the brightness slider, and then go into settings. But I really don't have, not even close to as many that I can have here on the Galaxy Mega, and you can have even more inside of the Samsung Galaxy S4, so that could be worth thinking about. Also, of course, what you do get here in the Galaxy Mega is, of course, you get Samsung's own apps here, like S Translator, S Planner, S Memo, S Voice, which is like kind of like Samsung's own Siri, Apple voice assistant competitor to Apple's Siri. And then of course it does look a little bit different here in terms of the UI. Something I should say about TouchWiz for the Galaxy S4 was that the UI was a little bit laggy from time to time, and now that is something that you don't get in Android 4.3 here. It's super smooth, and I have no problem whatsoever. It's like insane speeds. You can see here how the multitasking area looks like when you double tap. You just have one area here where you can see all of your open apps. If I can just fire up some more apps here, you can see it's super snappy, which is very nice. So if you want to have a snappy device, you don't want to have TouchWiz, then of course this is something you should maybe go with. Something also that you might want to know is that it doesn't work on the GTI 9500 when I'm doing this video, but the GTI 9505 of the S4 should be able to install it. Also, if you do have the HTC One, you should also be able to install it and have fun with that. Of course, both these two are very similar in terms of the home screens, that you can pick whatever you want on these home screens. One difference here though is that when you change home screens here on the S4, this one will stay there at the top, the search widget, which is extremely useful if you do ask me, because if you want to search for something, pretty quick, then that is very useful. If you want to use Google Now up here at the top, it's also very useful. What is 2 plus 2? Set alarm at 6 p.m.
Setting alarm.
Of course, Google Now, as you can see here, is nothing unique really with the stock version of Android. That's the thing actually with the stock version of Android, that many of those apps that you do get, like the Google Chrome browser here, are things you can download yourself from the Play Store and get on every single Android device. But you do get it because you want to get like a clean experience. You don't want to get any weird things in the UI. Everything should just look clean. That's something that you usually do get with the stock version of Android. You can just see it pretty quick here. Just if you go into TouchWiz here, if you go into settings area here, it looks pretty weird here in terms of menus. If you do ask me, it looks a little bit old. It doesn't look like this fresh edition that you do get here in the stock version of Android, where you can see all the apps and everything. It just looks very clean looking, at least if you do ask me. Over here, I mean, just look at these buttons. I just think it looks like a joke. But maybe I'm too hard. At least the tab system up here is very good, and we should not forget that Samsung do push out a ton of cool additions here, like especially to the S4. First you have smart screen, you have motion and gestures, you have a ton of things in there, and then of course one hand operation, and especially good of course for the Galaxy Mega over here. Motion and gestures. This is a key feature here where they have a ton of settings, especially if you do have the Galaxy S4, and I've been going over a ton of different motions and things you can do with your device. And of course that is not something that you would get in the stock version of Android. You also of course not get Samsung's own internet browser over here, which has cool features, especially in the S4 where you can smart scroll and air view just by hovering over. Doesn't even have the touch display. Of course, there are also some other nice additions that Apple and that Samsung has in their TouchWiz, and that you can take calls just by taking up your phone to your ear, etc. and etc. Also remember that when I'm doing this comparison right now, this is the mostly a software look basically compared to Android 4.3, which is extremely stable, and you should definitely flash it if you don't like TouchWiz. But when we look at kind of like the widgets, the cool widgets that you do get inside of TouchWiz here, I think it actually looks pretty cool, as you can see here with Samsung's own music player, also the story album, the S Planner here, which is a very cool planner. You can also see down here how it looks like with the apps here on the right side instead of being in the middle over here that you would get in the stock version of Android. And also in terms of multitasking, there is a very cool way here that Samsung usually use, and that is that if you want to close all the apps, they usually have just a button over there to close everything using in one click, which is extremely useful if you do ask me. You can also see here that Samsung is very good at releasing now the latest version of their little stuff to their latest smartphones. And something that you do get in TouchWiz for the S4 is also lock screen widgets, same as you do get here in the stock version of Android. So you can quickly launch, let's say, the camera, and you can see that the camera app here is a fully new Android 4.3 camera app, which oh shit! Oh, you shouldn't drop your device in that. That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But I might be going over that specific app in another video. And you can see that overall the theme here is like blue and black, yeah. And I would like it when you were going down like this, if you would see some quick toggles here, as you do get here inside of TouchWiz. I do know that you can use two fingers like this to get some toggles, but it still doesn't feel as good as the stock TouchWiz over there. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that little thing, even though it's not like a super big thing. And also in future videos, I'm probably going to go over separate apps, because I've been noticing that is kind of successful. Because there's just so many things to go over in one video, and of course you might want to know if the Galaxy Mega 6.3 if it's a too big phone, and I can happily tell you that it's actually not a too big phone. I was actually thinking that it was going to be too big to use, but of course this is a phone that you most of the time will use with two hands. Now the cool thing with the Galaxy Mega 6.3 is, yes, it's way bigger than the Galaxy Note 2, but just because the device is so much thinner and has adopted the S4 design with very nice sides, it actually feels almost like better than the Note 2, because the thickness of a device really do make a big difference. One thing that is a little bit disappointing is the display, that it's not as good display, the TFT display, as as the AMOLED display that Samsung usually is using, and then also the specs is a little bit mid-range, even though you're not gonna notice super big difference. But the pricing of this device is pretty high also, and also of course remember that it's the Mega lineup, so it doesn't come with the S Pen. And the S Pen functionality, of course, is pretty cool, and I do appreciate it, and I do like it to take pictures and screenshots and to easily be able to blur something out with that pen. For me at least, that pen is awesome, so I can't wait to pick up the next Galaxy Note device, the Galaxy Note 3, that's probably going to come here in a few months, which is definitely going to be amazing. If you want to see specific videos going over the browser or gaming or anything, please let me know about that. I've been getting some requests that I should try out some gaming in Android 4.3, and I definitely should do that to try out some games to see how they will perform and if it's optimized and stuff like that, because this is the Google edition of the firmware, so it should be pretty decent actually. Yeah, it should be pretty awesome. So quickly look here, hopefully you did enjoy.